Over the past few years, Seiko have been coming out with a trilogy of black watches. So all of their cases, their bracelets, their dials, inspired by basically dark colors, dark materials. So today I actually have one of these watches to show you. It's from one of their recent releases. It's a limited edition. It's the SPB253. It's based on the 62 Mas. So this is essentially a modern reinterpretation of the 62 Mas. It gets black, brown, orange, and all three of these colors really do come together very, very nicely. So let's flip the camera and take a look at one of the Dark Series limited editions from Seiko, the SPB253. So I did a video or a news video about this watch when it came out. I believe it came out in a trio of watches. I think they're all limited editions. They are a special black edition that Seiko have been doing over the past few years. So this is a black and brown orange combination. And when I saw it for the first time, when I got the press release for this watch, I thought it looked amazing. The trio of watches looked fantastic. So this is essentially a DLC coded version of a 62 Mas. And what they've done is given you a really cool, very sort of dark inspired color combination. So you're getting a black case, a black bezel insert as well, which is ceramic. And then of course you're getting orange in that bezel. You're getting a black dial, applied indices, and you have a little bit of orange in that minute's hand. So sort of tying it into the bezel. Then you have a brown strap on here. It also comes with a black strap. That is a rubber strap, but this NATO strap is black and brown. So they're combining the black and brown here and the orange. It looks phenomenal. The color combination that they used on this watch is really great. Of course, this is a Prospex C, so you're getting 200 meters of water resistance. This also gets the 6R35, so of course you're getting 70 hours of power reserve. So the 62 Mas, introduced in 1965, essentially inspires this watch. So this is a modern reinterpretation. That's what Seiko like to use when they are making a sort of a reissue of one of their very popular watches that isn't a direct homage to that watch. Although obviously this is an homage to the original 62 Mas, but what they're doing here is obviously using colors and materials that aren't the same as what you would have gotten from an original 62 Mas. But it's a reinterpretation of that original model, which is very good. You're also getting Lumibrite on here, sapphire crystal. Obviously the 6R35 is an automatic movement. The bezel action on this watch is excellent, and everything lines up on this model perfectly. So that index at 12 o'clock, the chapter ring, and then of course the bezel, that little triangle with the pip, that lines up. That pip is loomed. Let's listen to the bezel action very quickly. Really, really nice. It's not very audible, but the clicks are pronounced. It feels very, very smooth. I think they've changed their bezel action a little bit. I have a Seiko on my wrist today, and I'll compare the two, but this is an older model on my wrist. It's my SPB253, so I'll do a very quick comparison. You do get a screwed-in crown and a screwed-in case back. Of course, the case back is DLC plated as well. But here is the strap. This is a Seiko NATO strap. It is a double pass-through NATO. Now, normally I really do not like double pass-through NATOs. This is a very thick, very nicely made NATO strap. I own much higher end watches that have a NATO strap. Actually, my JLC comes to mind because I have a diving compressor, chronograph, Navy SEALs, master compressor, all that jazz. It's like the longest name of a watch ever made, but that came on a NATO strap, and that NATO strap is nowhere near as nice as this, and that's a $16,000 watch. This is a $1,200 watch. Now, $1,200 does seem like a lot of money, but I think that's the right price for this watch. Seiko in this territory, $1,200, definitely worth the money here. You're getting an extra strap as well. This is a really nice strap. You also get that rubber strap. Both of those you could use for diving. So very, very nice. Very quickly, I'm going to throw it on my wrist, and then we will do a quick loom shot. Today I have on my SBDC 061, and I'm just going to do the bezel action really quickly. So it's very similar, but not exactly the same. The bezel action on here has always been very, very good. It feels very solid and the clicks are very smooth, but just not very audible. So very in keeping with what Seiko do. I love this watch. I've had it for a very, very long time. Well, there you go. Look at that. It is really nice. I'll do measurements in just a second as well. The dial here is sort of a matte dial. You have a date at the 3 o'clock position that is not color matched. I kind of wish it was. I don't know why they wouldn't color match it on here, because the indices are actually in a cream color, I would say, not a bright white LumiBrite. So it kind of stands out a little bit more than the indices. Usually if it was the exact same color, it would make a lot of sense, but here maybe putting a black background on that date would make more sense, maybe, in my opinion. And then you have fence post hands. Those are darkened, so those are in a darkened color, so they're a little bit blackened. And then you have that orange on that minutes hand. And then the second hand, you have a little bit of lume on that as well. So measurements on here, this is around I want to say a 40 millimeter watch, so 40.1 millimeters. The lug to lug on here is a pretty decent lug to lug, but you do have these long lugs, you can see, and you do have drilled lugs, which is good because this is a plated watch and you don't want to scratch the plating when you're trying to change a strap. 47.5, which isn't that bad. You have a screwed-in crown that is not signed. That is 6.3 millimeters. And then, of course, this is an automatic watch with 200 meters of water resistance, so 13.5, really not that bad. But if you add in the strap here, you're talking around 16.4 millimeters. So always something to keep in mind. If you like a double Pastronado, it's going to wear high on your wrist because of that extra material behind the watch. Well, there you go. Lume, very, very good on this watch. Of course, it is LumiBrite, so it's very, very bright. That minutes hand in bright orange gives you a little bit of orientation, tells you which is the minutes and which is the hour hand in the dark. And then, of course, you have a running seconds, which is lumed. LumiBrite lasts a very long time, and it is very, very powerful. Well, there you go. Obviously, very impressed with this Seiko. It's a really nice watch. I really love the color scheme. I think it's overall a really great package. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to check out exquisitetimepieces.com. Check out their website. They're an authorized dealer for Seiko, Grand Seiko, tons of other brands. So check out their website. Definitely tell them that Watch Chris sent you. They have a brick and mortar store also in Naples, Florida. If you're ever down there, check them out. So anyway, thank you for logging on. I will catch you guys in the next video.